Okay, in this video I want to show you how to navigate a bit through these self-tests. The self-tests, by the way, are run through Pearson, so we have to click in this Pearson widget here. And you can access your self-tests either through the assignment link right here or the course home link. Either one will do. I'm just going to go into the assignments for right now. Okay, so you see the list of the self-tests. And you have some due dates right here. Note that the due dates are the dates that I would think you should have these completed by, because, for example, your first assignment is due on the 17th of September, and by the 17th of September you should have completed self-tests 1 and 2. That said, once these due dates are passed, you can still go in and access these self-tests. Now, let's have a look at self-test number 2 to see the types of questions that we might be faced with. And when you click on this, it gives you a list of the questions. You can start on question number 1. You can start on question number 7, whatever. If you start on question 1, it will open up to number 1 and you can proceed to, question 10. If you open it up on question 7, it will open at question 7, but you can go back to 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, or you can go forward. Okay, so typically we're going to start on question number 1. All right, I'll click on this. First question shows up. And this question is simply a multiple choice kind of question. So I indicate my answer, and then once I click in one of these boxes, or multiple boxes or whatever, because it says select all errors, I would check my answer and it'll tell me whether I'm right or wrong, and it will show me what the correct answers are for that particular question. Alright, sometimes there's question help. There are different types of help that come up with different types of questions. So in this case, it will take us, we could go to the textbook. This question is from chapter number 2, so it'll open up in the textbook in chapter number 2. I have no idea what the animation will do. Let's have a look. It's not looking too hopeful, so I'm getting out of that because I don't think that's very hopeful at all. Okay, let's proceed to the next question. All right, now here's a question in which we were given some data. And the issue in this question, and this is true of some questions, that you don't get the option to copy and paste the data. The data are showing here, but I can't copy and paste. I'm here trying to click on these numbers and I can't. So this is one where, heaven forbid, we actually have to do it by hand with a calculator. Okay, this is a question that involves, what do we got? We got cars parked in a large university parking lot, and the cars are categorized by 3 different countries, whatever country their license plates were from, and whether the driver of the car was a student or whether that person was staff. Now, then we're asked, so we have the numbers, but I can't copy and paste them into, say, something like Minitab. Okay, I'm asked what is the marginal distribution. I've already worked these out, and unfortunately I couldn't get rid of them, so I can't show you from scratch, but, well, I will show you from scratch. Here's what I would have done. I open up the calculator on my computer. I'm looking for the marginal distribution of origin. So what that means is I need to know what percentage of the cars in this parking lot were from country number 1, what percentage country 2, what percentage country 3. In order for me to answer that question, I need to know the total number of cars in the parking lot. So I'd come in here to my calculator and I would start plugging in the numbers. So 105, what have I got? 44, 51, 102, 18, and 46. Alright, so there's a total of 366 cars in this parking lot. What percentage of these cars are from country number 1? Well, okay, if I look, country number 1, 105 belong to students, 102 belong to staff. That's a total of 207. So I'd come in here, 207 divided by the 366. and as a decimal it's 0.566, but the answer has to be expressed as a percentage, and I need to round to 1 decimal place. So there's my 56.6. Now I would go in and I would do a similar calculation for country number 2, which would be the 44 plus the 18. It's going to give me what? 62 divided by the 366, convert that to a percentage, and it's 16.9. And finally, country number 3, these two numbers, 51 and 46, added together, divided by the 366. By the way, the other way I could get this 26.5, because all three of these need to add up to 100%. I could take that number plus that one and subtract from 100, which will give me this. Okay, and then I would go on and I would answer the questions about the conditional distributions, etc. So in this one I actually have to do things by hand. Now, it says down here that there's 2 parts remaining to this question. So that means I got to do part B, and when I go to check my answer, it will then open up with the with part C. Let's go to the next question. Yeah, and it tells me, okay, I haven't finished it all. I'm just going to say yes. You would typically say no, because note to self, try and finish these questions in one go. Not all of them in one go, but each question in one go. All right, now, here is a similar type of question. Again, it involves categorical variables. One of the categories is the ethnicity of an applicant to a school, whether they were black, Hispanic, Asian, or white, and then their admission status, they were accepted, they were waitlisted, or they were turned away. The totals in each row are given, the totals are in each column are given, and from here I can see that there were 1,223 applicants. Okay, but there's a little button right here. Okay, there's a little button right here that allows me to copy these data. So if I click this, I can copy it to the clipboard, and from here I can take it into any kind of application I want, and in our case we want to use Minitab. Now the numbers are all highlighted. You can do a right click on your mouse, do a copy, and I have Minitab open here. Just one second, I got to bring it in over here. Here's Minitab. I come in here and I can do a paste. So I have the data in here, and now in order to answer this question as it shows you in your notes, you can go into the Stat, Tab, Tables, Cross Tabulation, and chi-square, and you can answer the questions using the output from Minitab, which I'm not going to go through because it shows you in another video how to do that. Okay. Carrying on, okay, I've already copied my data, so I can say done or close it out. And there's, I don't know how many parts remaining, 3 parts remaining to this question, so there's other things I'll have to do in Minitab, find the answers and input them right here, and I can check my answers. On some of these questions, there's a tab here that says Question Help. There may be something to help you solve it, and in this case, it shows me how I would do this calculation manually. That's fine. You can also go to your textbook. This will open, if I click here, it will open in the relevant chapter, which in this case is chapter number 2, and I can view other examples. This one is the same questions mostly, but the numbers have changed. Okay, scrolling over to the next question. Here's just another straightforward multiple choice. This one again involves that I have data, and again there's that little symbol right here, so I can copy to the clipboard. I click that, I do a right click, copy, come into Minitab, and paste my data, and it's the same types of questions as you've just seen. Okay, what other things might we be faced with right here? Here's another set of data, and again that little symbol is right there. Copy and put in Minitab. Okay, right click on my mouse, copy. Notice when I put this data in Minitab, let's see now. No, alright, I don't want to do that because I want all the numbers down here in the spreadsheet. Now I can do a paste. And now I can go in and I can find some summary statistics or whatever it is I'm being asked to do here with these data. So there's that. And again, there's question help. Help me solve this. Shows you how to calculate the mean, etc. And then if you can continue, I assume that they'll show you how to do the quartiles and the range, etc. So you can show you how to do them by hand, or we can copy and paste in the Minitab and get Minitab to give us the answers. Just scrolling through here, okay, this one you're looking at this question, you're asked to make some comment on that. And here, if we click on the graphs, we can blow these up so we can see them in a bigger form. And again, you've got the question help. Continuing on, this one's got a little icon right here. So here's some summary statistics for these data. Here's a histogram. And it may be that I have to look at this histogram in greater detail, which is what it's showing me right here. You may have to actually count the frequency for each one of these bins on some of these questions. So there's that. And now we're at the last question. So this basically gives you some idea of the features that you're going to see in the self-help and in the term test. The thing to take away is that there are graphs you can blow up. You can have a look at them. In some cases, you can copy the data directly into Minitab, get Minitab to do the work for you, and then you can input your answers.